And Chrispin Phiri, the spokesperson for the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, is still with me in studio. We're talking about gender-based violence as well as femicide. He was talking about these sexual offences courts that have been established. We've got so far established 96 dedicated sexual offences courts since 2013, with a further about 11 or so to be opened this financial year. And this is basically to improve the conviction rates. Chrispin, thank you very much indeed for staying with us. Let's talk about another thing that the president emphasized with regards to people that are convicted of such crimes not being eligible for parole. And when we call for life sentences, that's what we mean, life imprisonment. Is this fully understood by the judiciary?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer because, we can never say that the judiciary do not understand the law. But parole is a process that we are in control of as the government, not the judiciary, the other state of the arm. And it's something that we have implemented already. So people who have been convicted or for rape and sexual offences would be convicted for life. Should they be eligible for parole, it is the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services who makes that decision. And we've been quite clear that they're not going to be getting parole in this period, at least, until we are able to fully assess whether these people have been fully repentative for their actions and they are fully rehabilitated. But at this stage, we are clear that no parole is granted to people who have committed sexual offences.
So let's break it down. And for the layman, life would mean, you're spending your whole life in prison. But is that the case? Is it not 25 years? Is life equivalent to 25 years?
Life is equivalent to 25 years.
Yeah.
And it depends, obviously, on the age of the individual who has committed the offence. Because you would imagine that we do have limited spaces in our correctional facilities. Yeah. And putting in people for life in our correctional facilities is from a practical perspective not feasible. So to some extent life does mean 25 years, but if you are 19, then you would get multiple life sentences, which means that you would spend a great deal of your life in a correctional facility. But we should also remember, society, that the purpose of correctional services is to rehabilitate people, even the worst amongst us, even those who have committed the most heinous of crimes. We are committed to rehabilitating such individuals. And in the near future, the minister will be announcing how we have done insofar as rehabilitating offenders of various offences. And it's an important conversation that our country needs to have as well.
Exactly, because it might be divided,
ability to rehabilitate offenders.
Because when we talk about these heinous crimes and the people that are affected, you want those people who perpetrate those crimes to spend the rest of their life in jail. You don't want them out. But you saying the next step is to get them back, I guess, into a shape where they can maybe enter society.
Because the premises that we have created these individuals, society itself has created these individuals, or society somewhat has failed these individuals. And we need to either look at those two aspects. And so how do we correct someone who we think is a human after all and is capable of contributing to society? It is a very difficult conversation to have. We are the first to concede this, but we have seen how this has worked in our communities. There's something called a victim-offender dialogue at correctional services, and we have gone across the country where we have met with people who have been raped by the offenders, and a woman is able to say, I forgive this man. I think what he did was wrong, but I see that he now understands what he has done was wrong. And the offender himself or herself is able to say, this is what I have done wrong, and I really regret it, and I want to live the rest of my life informing people that this is not what you want to do with your life. And we think that's the society ultimately that we should be able to live in, where offenders themselves are able to say, prison is not a place where you want to be. And we should not be committing these atrocities to begin with.
Look, I'd like to press you on these and other issues, but we've run out of time. But thank you very much indeed. We'll probably have you back here, take this conversation forward, maybe get an update with regards to the conviction rates of these specialised courts as well. Appreciate your time, though.
Thank you.
All right, Chrispin Phiri, the spokesperson for the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. We're going to take a quick break. We'll get you more news next.